What happens after death? Does everything end or start a new chapter from there? If you have this question in your mind, like most people, then today's episode is for you. Mahatma Gautama Buddha went to a Buddhist monastery in the village of Patli with his disciples for a few days to preach to the villagers. There, on the second day, his beloved disciple Gambani died at the age of 80. Death is a part of life, and no sorrow in death free from bonds was the principle to all the disciples, including Buddha. So, from the next day, the environment of the ashram was normal. 4 days after the death of the beloved disciple Gambani, in the evening, Mahatma Buddha lit a lamp in the courtyard of the ashram with all the disciples, where Buddha spoke about the spiritual cognition and charity of the monk Gambani. At the end of the memorial service, a disciple told Buddha that after the monk Gambani's death, he had seen and heard Gambani in the ashram on 2 consecutive nights. Buddha calmly asked, "Where did you see the monk Gambani?" The disciple said, "In front of my cottage." Buddha said, "Tonight, some of us will stay in front of your cottage. We will see what people look like after death." As the night wore on, Buddha appeared in front of the disciples' cottage, accompanied by 8 disciples. Everyone sat quietly in front of the cottage, waiting all night until dawn. Buddha said, "O disciple, monk Gambani has not come." The disciple said that he had seen the monk Gambani in the last 2 nights. Buddha smiled and said to all, "Go back to your cottages. We will talk in the morning." In the morning, after meditation and prayer, Buddha told his disciples about the events of last night. He asked the disciple, "You saw monk Gambani after death. Did Gambani look the same even after death?" The disciple said, "Yes, Gurudev, it looked the same." Buddha said, "I heard your words yesterday and understood that Gambani was created by the combination of your delusion and imagination. I was present in front of your cottage last night only to clear your mind of misconceptions. O disciple, death is not a mysterious phenomenon. It is a very normal and absolutely true phenomenon that will come before all of us one day. The disciple humbly asked, "O Gurudev, what happens to us after death?" Buddha very humbly said, "Our birth and death depend on our karma. As the knowledge acquired in previous births is not complete, our birth and death are an eternal composite process. Because of the lack of knowledge of this purpose of human birth, people get busy with trivial activities. Earthly desires are enlightenment, and the sufferings of birth and death are nirvana. Man has to return again and again to this life of suffering until he attains perfect enlightenment in one birth. People can avoid rebirth in this birth if they want." All the disciples and villagers present there were listening to Buddha in silence. A disciple asked, "Gurudev, what is the form of our soul after death? Can we see that entity if we want?" Buddha said, "The soul, leaving the body, dissolves in nature as perfectly as air. We cannot see it. What we call the ghostly soul is an absolute figment of our subconscious mind." The disciple said, "Gurudev, I don't understand. Please explain in simple terms." Buddha said, "All of you close your eyes and sit quietly. Do as I say." Everyone sat on Padmasana, a sitting position, while meditating, and closed their eyes. Buddha said, "Imagine with a fixed mind a deep lake. It is a very calm and deep lake. Then imagine a white cat sitting calmly on the water of that lake. The cat has two wings. Now imagine more deeply that the cat is flying above the lake. The cat is flying very happily in a beautiful environment." Buddha was sitting quietly for a while. Everyone was sitting in front with their eyes closed and imagining all this. Now Buddha said, "Everyone, open your eyes. Have you all seen that flying cat?" All the disciples said together, "Yes, Gurudev, we have seen the flying cat." Buddha smiled softly and said, "In reality, the cat cannot sit on water, nor does it have wings to fly in joy. But we saw the cat flying over the lake through the vivid power of imagination. In fact, we have all seen water bodies, cats, wings, and flying animals in real life. Now, what happened was that we combined all these real images to create a flying cat in our brain. Just like this, we see someone after his death in a supernatural power of imagination, which in reality is false. The soul does not die. By merging with nature, it is born again by its own nature. In this cycle of birth and death, not only human beings, but all animals go round. In this birth, we will not have to return to this miserable life. If we know the absolute truth of life in one birth, how can our inner strength through meditation and destroy the sorrows of life by adhering to Chatur Arya Shatta and following Ashtamarga? Now, Ashtamarga refers to Shammak Drishti, Shammak Sankalpa, Shammak Vakka, Shammak Karma, Shammak Ajiva, Shammak Prochesta, Shammak Sriti, Shammak Samadhi. This life will become a life of true, absolute peace after passing through the cycle of births. Thanks to all. Good luck.